नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees at Greater Noida. Very happy and grateful to be here in such a simple, beautiful temple filled with so many enthusiastic devotees who are eager for Krishna Katha. I was asked to speak on Vaishnava relationships. Is that the topic? Okay. Yes, Vaishnava relationships are the heart of bhakti. Bhakti without genuine Vaishnava relationships is mere jnana. All the knowledge of bhakti must culminate in genuine relationship with Krishna and his devotees. That's the purpose of cultivating so much of spiritual knowledge, to become personal with Krishna, to become personal with Krishna's devotees, to have a personal bonding and relation and friendship with Krishna's devotees. That's the culmination of bhakti. And how do we develop it? Rupa Goswami gave us these principles. Dadati pratigrhnati guhyamakhyati pritchati bhunkte bhojayate chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. Dadati pratigrhnati. Offer gifts, receive gifts. Guhyamakhyati pritchati. Share your hearts in confidence with your dear friends, devotee friends. And when they are sharing their hearts, you hear them empathetically, sympathetically, compassionately. Be personal with them. And bhunkte bhojayate chaiva. Feed them prasadam. When they offer prasadam, we accept it. That's how relationships will increase. And Acharyas also give us this caution note that with whomever you have the 6 loving exchanges, priti lakshanam, you will have an emotional bonding with them. If we have these 6 loving exchanges with people who are not practicing devotional service, we will have emotional bonding with them. When we have deep emotional bonding or friendship or close relation with people who are not practicing bhakti, eventually we may lose our bhakti also. Isn't it? Asat sangatyagayi Vaishnava achar. We should have association of people whose association is favorable for our advancement in bhakti. Any unfavorable association must be avoided. But while preaching, you may have to associate with people or interact with people who may not be practicing bhakti. So how should we handle that? Should we avoid preaching? No, that's not the point. You interact with them, although they may not be practicing bhakti, You interact with them in such a way that you inspire them to come to bhakti. They may be materialistic at this moment, but they are all children of Krishna, amshas of Krishna. Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. Because ultimately they are all amshas of Krishna. They have that seed of devotion within their hearts. So your interactions with them should water that seed in their heart and invoke their devotion for Krishna. Means you give your association to them and inspire them to become devotees instead of seeking inspiration from them to become a materialistic person. That's how we need to associate with people around. But for all practical purposes, we have close and intimate friendships and relationships with devotees who are practicing bhakti, and we maintain general compassion, empathy and sympathy and kindness towards general people and try to bring them closer to Krishna. Because we know for sure that every single living being is a part and parcel of Krishna, and the greatest ecstasy that a soul can experience is in relationship with Krishna. So when we are convinced about it, then we can interact with people with that conviction and try to inspire them to come closer to Krishna. That's about preaching and interacting with people who are not practicing bhakti. But as far as Vaishnava relationships amongst the devotee circles is concerned, we need to try to practice the 6 loving exchanges. Dadati pratigrahnati guhyamakhyati pritchati bhungte bhojayate chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. Then our relationships will become more cordial. But while interacting with devotees, there are some difficulties. Agreed? Do you have any difficulties while interacting with devotees? Differences of opinion, differences of preferences, natures may vary. Sometimes in the association of devotees also there is some difficulty in the sense that some people chant in a loud voice. You sit next to them. You are simply chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. They are saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna Krishna. They are dancing or chanting, we don't know. They are very loud. There are some devotees, even when I am in the altar addressing the deities, even if the devotee is sitting next to Prabhupada there, I can hear the voice very clearly. Very loud chanting. I'm really calling out to Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, while chanting, not in Kirtan. Right? And several rounds are chanted like that, and you can't chant next to him. Because you hear his prayer, you can't pray. You hear his chanting and not your chanting. Sometimes devotees may cause some inconvenience to us, either by being loud, this is about chanting, but there are some other ways in which devotees may kind of bother us, quote unquote. What is that botheration? They have a different worldview. Their priority is something else, while your priority is this. They are fast, you are slow. Or you are fast, they are slow. They are in Vata Prakriti, you are in Kapha Prakriti. Right? They say this service is the most important service. But you say this service is also important. No, this has to be prioritized. Fine. You prioritize that service. You both are doing the same service. This devotee say, we have to serve in this way only. But you say there is another way also. No, this is the right way. Then sometimes you have to surrender. So a lot of differences of opinion, a lot of difficulties in interactions. What should we do? Should we serve alone? Should we not associate with devotees? Because devotees have different worldviews, different opinions about serving Krishna. Yes, that's natural, because everybody is unique. No two people are completely same. Yes, there are some commonalities amongst all of us. All of us are worshipping the same Lord, Krishna, under the shelter of same goddess of devotion, Radharani, reading the same book, Gita Bhagavatam. All of us are chanting the same mantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. All of us are following the same Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. So these are all commonalities. But along with the commonalities, there are differences also. So maturity is to focus on the commonalities and make friendship, and not focus on the differences and distance away from the relationships. In a relationship, in a relation with another Vaishnav, we need to focus on the commonalities. Yes, these are commonalities. Because this devotee is also aspiring for the same goal of Krishna Prema, following the same process of sadhana bhakti, I am also doing the same thing. There is commonality. That's a reason for me to come together with this devotee. So find reasons to connect with each other. Maya will give 100 reasons to go away from each other. But Radharani will give 100 reasons to come together. We should hear Radharani or Maya. Both are Krishna's energies only. But the flavor of these two energies are different. Although there are differences, there are also commonalities. As much as humanly possible, let's try to focus on commonalities and connect with each other with love and affection as much as possible. Right? Differences are too much. If you are like milk and he's like lemon, and you can't connect with each other, as I was sharing with kids. What was the context? I was speaking about multitasking. Multitasking. Can you do multitasking? Children said, yeah, we can do multitasking sometimes, if both can be done parallelly, nicely. But if they both require exclusive attention, we may not mix them together. Yeah, correct. Very intelligent thought process. I said, you can take lemon juice, you can take milk also, but you can't take both together. You can't take a cup of milk and squeeze a lemon there and then drink lemon milkshake. You can't do that. Similarly, when two devotees have different temperaments, different styles of functioning, fine. Both of them want to serve Krishna, but in different ways. Let them serve little differently, no problem. But that should not lead to hatred or jealousy or envy or negativity or grudges. That should not be there. You allow them, that's their space, and you take your space and you serve, and they will serve, but don't hold any grudge or envy or negativity or hatred. For example, many devotees ask me, why can't Krishna bring all the Vrajavasis to Dwarka and stay together? Dwarkavasis and Vrajavasis both are at Dwarka. Yashoda Mata and Nanda Maharaj in one room. Devaki and Vasudeva in another room. Two sets of parents of Krishna. Krishna can stay in the same palace with both of them. Why the Vrajavasis have to be in separation? All the gopis and Krishna's queens, they both can be in same place. Or Krishna can take all the Dwarkavasis to Vrindavan and stay there. Or Krishna can take all the Vrajavasis to Dwarka and stay there together. Why so much of difficulty? It's not possible, by the way. Because Dwarkavasis serve Krishna in a different mode. Vrajavasis serve Krishna in a different mode. Vrindavan Krishna and Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan are characterized by simplicity, innocence and sweetness. But Krishna's pastimes in Dwarka are characterized by majesty, grandeur and opulence. This majesty, grandeur, opulence is not suitable for Vrajavasis. This simplicity, innocence and sweetness is not suitable to Dwarkavasis. They can't stay together. Gopis are making this cow dung cakes, putting on walls, are taking cow dung and then putting a lap on their floors, making some small rangolis. But the queens of Dwarka, they live in, they sit on ivory couches made of ivory. Their pillars are bedecked with gold and jewels. They don't have simple cow dung lap on their walls. They are very lavish. Each of them has hundreds of maid servants. Of course, Vrindavan is also opulent, but the opulence is of a different flavor. There is no formality there. There are no formalities or lot of protocols or policies there. But Dwarka is a big city, that requires some kind of formal and official policies. Formalities are there. Vrindavan, anyone can barge into anyone's home. It's a village, simple village. Krishna can go and steal. In Dwarka, Krishna doesn't steal. In Vrindavan, Krishna doesn't even wear shoes. In Dwarka, Krishna has to wear shoes. In Vrindavan, Krishna is surrounded by cows and calves and gopas and gopis and peacocks and butterflies and parrots and monkeys especially. But in Dwarka, Krishna is surrounded by soldiers, ministers, queens, royal members of the assembly, great yadus and vrishnis and andhakas and bhojas, elephants, horses, chariots. But in Vrindavan, Krishna is not moving around with elephants and horses. He is moving around with cows and monkeys. There's a difference. So these two devotees cannot come together. They may meet with each other at Kurukshetra for a moment, say hi, hello, then depart. And both of them want Krishna with them. You see? So that is transcendental, of course. But when there's some guns, Hari. So, of course, the differences in the flavors of Dwarka service and Vrindavan service is on a totally spiritual plane, transcendental plane. They both are like Nitya Siddha devotees. But when it comes to the material realm, the differences between two devotees or two groups of devotees could be sometimes material also. It could be spiritual also. It can be material also, because we are in the material world. But what is our responsibility to maintain good relationships? Simple. Focus on the commonalities and not on differences. But you acknowledge the differences and be sensitive there. Don't enter into the zone of differences and then agitate people. So, but focus on the commonalities and find a reason to love them. Find a reason to be kind to them, instead of finding reasons to stay away from them. Right? So, when we see that spiritual equality behind material differences, Hare Krishna, Gaur Nitai Bhagavan ki jai. When we manage to see the spiritual equality behind material differences, then we can have good relations. At least let's begin with having good relations with people who are right next to us, in our own community, in our own temple, in our own locality, in our own neighborhood. Let's begin from there. Having close relations with all the Vaishnavas across the globe may not be possible, may not be that easy, but we can always try to maintain good relations and sweet friendships with devotees who are right next to us, immediately next to us, right? And that requires this dadati pratigrihnati guhyamakhyati pruchhati. One more important principle that Bhagavatam teaches us is, although it is austere for us to stay together, as a matter of sadhana, as a part of our sadhana, we have to be together. We have to practice being together. It may not be very natural for us in the beginning, but we need to strive to cultivate that loving relations. Let me tell you one incident. Sudama and Krishna, they both were students in Sandipani Muni's school. And Sandipani Muni is lovingly taking care of all his students, all his disciples. One day Sandipani Muni's wife told Krishna and Sudama, "My dear children, can you please go to the forest and collect some firewood?" These two young boys, maybe in their teens, they went to the forest, collected firewood, carried nice loads of wood in their hands, and they were coming back to the ashram. But a big storm came. Floods. Within no time, the entire surroundings are filled with flood waters. Thunder, storm, darkness, rain. They became completely wet. They are unable to differentiate between highlands and lowlands. They are unable to find their way back to ashram. And here Krishna is acting like a student with a shaved head. He is not acting like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When there was a storm in Vrindavan, Krishna lifted Govardhan mountain and protected all the Vrajavasis. But when there is a storm in Ujjain, Krishna did not lift any Govardhan hill, by the way. He allowed himself to become wet. He acted like a normal student. He was not in a mood of the protector of the universe at this moment. He is in the mood of a simple, humble disciple, a menial servant of his Guru Sandipana Muni, along with his friend, his colleague, Sudama. So these two boys were caught up in the storm. It's very dark everywhere. They're unable to find their way home. They can't even see each other. They can't even see themselves also. So dark. In such a situation, you know what Sudama and Krishna did? With one hand, they were holding the firewood that they have collected for their Guru. With another hand, they were holding the friend's hand. Sudama and Krishna held each other with one hand, and with the other hand, they are holding firewood. Throughout the night, they held each other like this. They did not leave each other's hands. They did not leave the firewood. Throughout the night. Somehow the situation was very demanding. The situation was extremely demanding that even if they are inattentive for a moment, they would have left each other. But they were extremely attentive in holding each other's hands. It's dark. Even for a moment, if they become inattentive, they would leave each other. They can't find each other. Even if they shout, Sudama, where are you? Krishna, where are you? They can't hear each other. So much of noise and thunder. They can't find each other. Because there is darkness everywhere. And they may be floating in the flood waters. But they were very, very careful to hold each other's hands. They're not leaving each other's hands with so much of determination. And despite such storm and thunder and rain and floods, they did not leave the firewood also, because that is their Guru's service. Very important message Krishna and Sudama are giving us. Maya will present hundreds and thousands of difficulties, temptations, tribulations, allurements, distractions. Amidst all the distractions presented by Maya, we should not leave two things. Number one, sadhu sangha, Vaishnavas association, friendship with other devotees. And number two, Guru's service. They did not leave the firewood, right? Don't leave the service of Guru and don't leave the association of Vaishnavas. Because Maya may tempt us, force us, allure us to leave the association of devotees. It's not possible for you, O Sudama or Krishna, to catch Sudama's hand. Just leave. Be free. And it's not easy for you to hold this big bag, or not bag, this big log, this firewood, a bundle of firewood. You can't leave. You can collect somewhere else. You can collect again, no problem. Again. Anyways, it has become wet now. Just leave it. That's very tempting. The situation is extremely tempting. Leave this service. Leave this service. Leave this service. Every drop of water coming from the sky, every thunder being heard there, is tempting Krishna and Sudama to leave the firewood, but they did not leave the firewood till they reached the Guru's ashram. Secondly, again the situation was tempting. Leave each other. Aas ho gaya. Chhod do. You hold on to service, don't hold on to devotees. That's another temptation. Or hold on to each other, but leave seva. Guru seva baad mein, but we have to be together. But they did not leave both. Have you noticed it? They did not leave the firewood, which is Guru's service. They did not leave each other, which is Sadhu Sangha, Vaishnava Sangha. So, Maya may present hundreds and thousands of impediments, temptations, allurements, distractions, disturbances in our bhakti. But these two things we should never leave. We should never leave the association of devotees. Even if there is austerity in that association, even if the association may cause some trouble or whatever it is, don't leave devotees. Second, don't leave Guru Seva. I am not saying this. Krishna is saying this. Sudama is saying this. Not just saying, they are demonstrating it. Saying is fine. Bol diya, theek hai. But they are practically following it and showing it to us, an example. So Vaishnav relationships are that important, extremely important. Because it is in the association of devotees that we get inspiration to practice bhakti, and we get inspiration to continue the practice of bhakti. To come to the process of Krishna consciousness, we need devotees. To survive in the path of Krishna consciousness, we need devotees. And once you perfect your path also, you need devotees only. Once you go to Golaka Vrindavan, you will not be alone there. You will be with so many devotees. Right? During practice stage, we need devotees. To come to the level of practice also we need devotees. And after perfection also we need devotees. At all phases, devotees, loving relations and friendships with devotees are an integral part of the whole path of bhakti. Which devotees you decide? Swajatiya. So, Dwarkavasi stay together, Ayodhyavasi stay together, and Vrindavanvasi stay together, Vaikunthavasi stay together. Fine, no problem. You find a devotee who is compatible with you. Find that association of devotees that are more compatible with your temperament, with your mood, with your flavor of service. That's fine. You can find a Swajatiya. You can always interact with those who are more like-minded. May not interact so much with people who are having a different mood. That's not a problem. But don't hate anyone. Don't hold any grudges towards anyone. Don't host negativity and hatred or bitter feelings towards any Vaishnav, even if that Vaishnav is from a different sampradaya. If there's a mistake, you may disapprove. But never hold any grudge. That's what Bhagavatam is repeatedly teaching us. Ahimsaya paramahamsacharyaya smritya mukunda charitagriya sidhuna yamaira kamair niyamaischapya nindaya nirihaya dvandvatitikshaya cha. Ahimsaya paramahamsacharyaya. Ahimsa means non-violence. Okay, it's a long story, long sloka. I will stick to one point there. Anindaya. The word anindaya in this shloka is explained by Prabhupada in this way. Don't criticize Vaishnavas. Even if they belong to some other sampradaya, one should not hate another person who is trying to practice bhakti. We should not hate anyone. What to speak of Vaishnava? What to speak of Vaishnava? We should not hold hatred or negativity towards any living being, because ultimately every living being is a part and parcel of Krishna. Right? And there are so many devotees who offered prayers to the Lord, saying that we need friendships with all living entities, not only devotees. Parikshit Maharaj, he said, Punascha bhuyad bhagavatyanante ratihi prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yam yam upayami srishtim maitriyastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. If at all I have to take birth again, O Lord, I need three things. Number one, bhagavatyanante ratihi. I want love, rati, towards Bhagavan Krishna. First boon he wanted. Second, prasangascha tadashrayeshu. I want the association of devotees who have taken shelter of Krishna. Third, maitriyastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. I want loving friendships with all living entities in general. This is the aspiration of Parikshit Maharaj. Only friendly relations with everyone. No hatred. You may not have close friendship, but at least don't have any negativity. Treat others with kindness, with affection, with love, as much as humanly possible. We are not Krishna to be very personal with every single living being. Different people want to connect with us. We don't have bandwidth, we don't have time, we don't have energy. That's fine. You may not be accessible to people because of time constraints, physical constraints, but you should be approachable to people. There is a difference between accessibility and approachability. Accessibility means it's always subjected to time constraints. You cannot access another devotee because of he has only 24 hours and already schedule is packed. So accessibility is always limited. But approachability should be there. So whenever you get to meet them, you should be approachable towards them. Your personality, your demeanor should give them a confidence that yes, he will not misunderstand me. He will not judge me. He will treat me with kindness. He will treat me with respect. So when we have that kind of demeanor, we can make friendship with people. If people have to think 10 times before approaching us, out of respect if they do so, that's fine. But if they are thinking 10 times, because we have a tendency to misunderstand them, misjudge them, or demean them, discourage them, disrespect them, hate them, then we are not up to the mark. That's the whole point. We need to be approachable. Accessibility depends on time constraints. Right? Sanatana Goswami, he was doing parikrama of Govardhan at an advanced age. While doing Govardhan parikrama, on the way he will meet so many villagers, simple people. He will ask them with love and affection, he will ask them, how are you doing? When are you conducting your daughter's marriage? Do you have enough finances? Oh, how is your health now? You were not well last week. Now you are okay, recovered. So this is how he is greeting them. And all the devotees there in that locality, they felt Sanatana Goswami is our family member. Although he is living like a renunciant, a Goswami, like a sannyasi alone, but every family around Govardhan thought that Sanatana Goswami is my family member. He is a renunciant. He is a Goswami. But he is a family member of so many families. That's the demeanor a Vaishnava is supposed to cultivate. This is called, this is an example of Vaishnava relationships, Vaishnava friendships. Yes, strictness has its role, but sensitivity also has a greater role. We need to balance our strictness with sensitivity. We may disapprove someone's misdeed, but at heart, we need to desire their welfare. We need to genuinely desire that they stay happy in their Krishna consciousness. The genuine desire must be there. The genuine well-wishing nature is what differentiates a Vaishnava, mature Vaishnava, and any of it. One should only desire welfare for everyone. Sarva bhuta hite rataha. A devotee is described as Sarva bhuta hite rataha. One who endeavors, one who desires and endeavors and prays for the welfare of all living beings around. With love, with care, with affection. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is so loving and caring that he told Sivananda Sen, you take care of the accounts of Vasudeva Datta. Whatever money he gets, he spends, either for worship or to help others, but he doesn't keep anything. As a Grihastha, he is supposed to have some surplus funds. He is supposed to save some money. He can't just spend everything. You take care of his home accounts. Why? Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. Why he has to get into the financial management of a Grihastha while he is a sannyasi? That is love, that is care, that is affection, that is relationship. Chaitanya Charitamrita is filled with descriptions of Vaishnava relationships. We are personalists, right? We are not impersonalists. We speak a lot about impersonalism. We should not be impersonal. So first let's begin with not being impersonal with devotees around us. Let's be personal with devotees. If you are busy with some service, you are unable to connect with them, that's a different thing. But despite having bandwidth, if you are very cold, impersonal, unapproachable to other devotees, then that's an indication that we need to improve. Come to the level of dadati, pratigrahanati, guhyamakhyati, pruchati. All that begins with simple gestures, simple services we can do. We need to be there for each other physically, emotionally and spiritually, support each other. And all this happens when we sit together and discuss about Krishna. Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela. That's the ultimate foundation for Vaishnava relationships. You may care for each other physically and emotionally, that's great. But spiritually we need to connect with each other. And that spiritual connection amongst the Vaishnavas happens by regularly discussing about Krishna. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. Bodhayantaha parasparam. You share your understanding about Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela with your devotees, with your friends. That will increase friendship. When you read one Gita shloka and you share your understanding of that shloka with your friend will also develop that similar understanding that you have. Thus he will come closer to Krishna, and in this whole process he will come close to you also, and you come close to him also. Similarly, when he shares his understanding about one Bhagavatam shloka, and you start appreciating the devotee for his devotion for Krishna, when you are interacting on general practical plane with each other, we are exposed to others' talents, skills, resourcefulness, general demeanor, that's all. But when we interact with each other with Krishna-related discussions, then we are exposed to their devotion. So here, you both are working together on one project or one service, say, making a garland. This is the activity. So you interact with another devotee on this project of making this garland. And you are making a garland at one pace, certain pace. Have you seen devotees? They take one needle, long needle, some 6-inch needle, and they insert one set of flowers in that needle. Another devotee, he inserts some few flowers in that needle. Another devotee inserts few more flowers in that needle. All these needles will come to another devotee. He will take a thread and starts putting all these needles and make a garland like this. Have you seen that? You also implement it, right? Yeah. So in that, people's expertise in inserting flowers in a needle will come into picture. People's expertise in joining all these needles and making a nice garland which is very nicely balanced, right? You see, this is balanced garland. Here there are some 2 roses, then after that orange rose, red rose, orange rose, then again red rose, then white, Shevanti, or what is Bijli, then again red, then this Gulchadi, white, then again. So this is nicely balanced. So you can see how skillful these devotees are and how cooperative these devotees are to make this such a beautiful garland for Krishna. That's great. But when you work together in cooperation, you will see each other's skill. But we need to go one step beyond and see their devotion behind making this garland. This garland is a manifestation of not just skill or expertise or experience. It's also a manifestation of love for Krishna, devotion for Krishna. If we connect with other devotees only based on their skills or talents or experience or expertise, we will only get their one facet of their personality. But behind all this, there is devotion, there is love, there is affection for Krishna, there is a desire to please Krishna, there is a desire to please Guru. When will we connect with that aspect of the devotee? When we hear from them. So, have discussions beyond general, practical, regular, day-to-day activities. Share realizations. Let them speak about Krishna and you hear. You speak about Krishna, let them hear. Thus, have direct conversations about Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela. That will increase one's loving bondings. Then you will appreciate a devotee not just for the skill, but for the devotion. Not just for their expertise, but their emotion. Then, even if there are differences of opinion, you can appreciate them. Right? They have devotion. Their opinion is an expression of devotion. Or their opinion may be different, but they have some devotion for Krishna. Let me respect them. Let me connect with them for the right reason. We need to appreciate devotees not only for a temporary reason of their skill. Skill will be there today, tomorrow skill will go. They may be resourceful today, tomorrow they may not be able to provide resources. But if you connect with them only for their resourcefulness and skillfulness, then the relationship is temporary. But if you connect with them with love and affection and recognize their love and affection for Krishna, that's a permanent relation. That's a spiritual relation. Right? These are some finer nuances of cultivating Vaishnava friendships and relations. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments? I only have 5 minutes. I need to travel for another session. Yeah.
I attended your Noida lecture also, this also. So I'm connecting both. I have a question, maybe long.
Long question.
I mean, like, because there you mentioned, that we have to be we should not get disturbed, and we should be always be same in any situation, like somebody, do when he's happy or unhappy or mad, whatever situation, but injustice should not be tolerated. So that you mentioned. And here you mentioned about the Vaishnav, relationship. So injustice, how to identify the injustice, because the other person may think is not injustice, but the person is facing the injustice. That is one. Second, if the injustice is really injustice, and is there injustice, and then in relation to Vaishnava, how do we deal, and in relation to Vaishnava, how do we deal?
In any case, mistake has to be disapproved. What is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad, is understood from the scriptural injunctions, from the Shastra. There are some things which are absolutely wrong. There are some things which are absolutely right. We can get that understanding from the Shastra. But there are some things which may seem wrong, but they may not be wrong. They may seem right, but they may not be right. You may not get its literal description in a Shastra. For that you need Sadhu and Guru to evaluate. That's why it's not just Shastra, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, all three. So, wherever things are very clear, if somebody says sun doesn't rise in the east, that's an absolutely false statement. Sun rises in the east only. There is no confusion. You can easily understand what he said is wrong. Very clear. But there are some things, like for example, somebody says, this garland has to be made at 9 a.m. Someone says, it has to be made at 10 a.m. Both statements cannot be absolutely true or absolutely false. It all depends on the practicality of the situation. So some things which are not absolutely true or absolutely false, according to Shastric description, you can consult a guru, consult a sadhu, and get the right understanding of what it is from the opinions of guru and sadhu, and then take proper decision, whether it is justice or injustice, dharma or adharma, nyaya or anyaya. You can decide that. We have the opulence of the wisdom of so many devotees around us. Let's utilize it. When we are unable to ascertain things, we can take assistance from experienced devotees to ascertain those things. Does it make sense, bro? Hare Krishna.
And the other part was like how to deal if there is really injustice with Vaishnav relationship.
If it is really injustice, how to deal. Now, if it is a small inconvenience, small injustice, for example, in a feast, one devotee, he distributed gulab jamun to everybody and not you. Not that gulab jamun is over by the time your turn came. He has gulab jamun. Still, he deliberately did injustice and did not give you. Anyay hai, apman hai. So what should you do? Tolerate. Small inconvenience. Tolerate. But if the injustice is not so simple like that, it's little higher temperature, then communicate. Tell them, hey, not proper. If communication also doesn't work, escalate the matter to higher authorities. Right? Tolerate, communicate, and escalate. Tolerate if it is a small inconvenience or small injustice. Communicate if it is crossing certain boundaries. And if even communication doesn't work, escalate the matter to higher people. Let them take a decision. Okay? Hare Krishna. Altar opened. We'll conclude the session. Okay? Your question, Prabhu will answer. Hare Krishna. I need to go.